welcome to the Swamp Witch Knits podcast. I am Emily. I'm coming to you from my home in Pensacola. This is a podcast where I talk about my knitting and sometimes other crafts that I fall into. Thank you so much if you are coming back. This is episode 2, and if you are new here, welcome. Thank you so much for watching. Today's video, I thought I could talk about all of the knitting projects that I'm currently working on. I am classifying that as I work on them at least once a week to once every 2 weeks. And there's just a few that I've been kind of rotating through this winter. So I think I'll start off with what I'm wearing. This is the Elton cardigan by Locatelli. It is one of my favorite cardigans. It is knit in a single ply fingering weight with an inner kind of, what is the word? Oh my gosh. Interchanged with, you guys, it's not a hard word. A fingering weight, single ply yarn, alternating with a single ply mohair silk. And it is lovely. It turns out to be the perfect weight to wear inside here in kind of our warm climate. I honestly saw this pattern when it came out, and I didn't think I would be interested in knitting it. I just thought, I just didn't kind of think it was for me. And I was unsure. Oh my gosh. Dying apparently. I was unsure if the mohair would be warm enough, basically. And I actually met someone when I was knitting at a yarn store in Colorado Springs, and she was wearing one that she had knit, I think in Yellow Brick Road by La Bien Ami, and it was stunning and so just fit her so well. Like, I love how the sleeves are fitted, and then it's got a really boxy drop shoulder fit. And she said that she wore it all the time. She was a professor, and she said she just, she wore the crap out of it, and she was actually working on a second one. So that sold me, and I added it to my queue. And then I came across this gorgeous blue yarn when I was visiting Wyoming. I went to this yarn store called Cowgirl Yarn in Laramie, which is a really, really cool store. If you guys are ever out that way, you should definitely check out Cowgirl Yarn. This was a collaboration between Shibui and MadTosh, and the color is Big Sky. Probably not, I'm sure that it's not available anymore. I think Shibui went away, and then I heard it came back, so I do hope that it came back because I love this yarn. This is absolutely gorgeous. It's my ultimate favorite color, blue. When I saw it, I just had to have it. It was very pricey, and at the time, it was before I was starting at my job, so I didn't have a lot of funds, so I ended up getting one skein of the fingering weight and one skein of the mohair. It was just like the most precious yarn ever for me, and I hung on to it wondering what I would make. And when I started my job a couple of months later, I cast on this cardigan with it, and then I ordered the rest that I would need from that shop. So it ended up working out really well. I love this. I wear it all the time. I didn't end up adding the buttons. It is supposed to have buttons. I was about to say should. I don't have to, I guess I don't have to do anything. I've knit in the buttonholes, so I could put in buttons. I think little shell, those little mother of pearl buttons, just very simple, would be really pretty on this. So if I come across some delicate kind of mother of pearl buttons, I think I would add them, but I just don't have any right now that I am totally in love with. And I love this cardigan so much that I don't want to mess it up with the wrong buttons. So, and I don't really wear it, honestly. I don't need it to be closed. Like the way that it lays on my body is really nice. Just really, really pretty. It hits at a really nice spot, and it's just relaxed enough to be comfortable, but it doesn't look like slouchy. I think it looks nice. I could wear it out to a nice dinner. The sleeves are nice and fitted. It's just got a really, it just fits perfectly, and it's a great weight. The mohair makes it warm, but because it's only one strand, it's not stifling. I wear it here in Florida all the time in the air conditioning, and I rarely get too hot in this. So A+, would knit again. I think I would knit a fluffy pink one. Fluffy, obviously, because the mohair just makes it, you know, have that little bit of halo, not too much. I just want a fluffy pink cardigan. Number one, because I love pink and I want it. And number two, because I have a Professor Umbridge costume. It's a, so we call her Professor J Clubridge because it is a it's like shorts and like a sleeveless vest that's tweed patterned pink, and like a curly Umbridge wig. And my friend did Rita Skeeter, and she like also wore like a club outfit that we found on Amazon, and we wore this as a cosplay to Dragon Con. And so just like the club version of Professor Umbridge. I don't like, it wasn't planned. I was just looking for an Umbridge outfit. I stumbled across like a short like tweed pink club outfit, and we were inspired to make them like the club versions. So I don't know, it's just ridiculous and silly. Dragon Con is just like a big event where like people dress up and like talk about Dungeons and Dragons and Pokemon and anime and all kinds of stuff. It's really fun. All that to say, I have Professor Dolores J Clubridge, but she doesn't have a fluffy pink cardigan as described in the book. So if I knit myself a pink Elton cardigan, not only could I wear it all the time, but I could incorporate it into my club outfit. So it would really, I think it's very important, and I think I should probably, after I'm done filming this video, purchase yarn immediately. So let's move on. Let's go ahead and talk about my first project that I'm working on. This, actually, I think this is a great transition. I am knitting this at the same time as my friend who has the Rita Skeeter outfit. We're both in a knit along. This is the Folklore cardigan knit along. We're knitting this virtually. We're virtually part of the knit along in a Discord group through the Craftivist. It's a yarn store in Atlanta. So this is an oversized, all over cabled and moss stitch textured knitting pattern. They're using the free pattern from Lion Brand, and I want to say that she is using, oh my gosh, I have it right here. Oh no, I lost the front page. Just kidding. I want to say hers is the one that the designer made is in a bulky weight yarn. The knit along, they actually suggested, oh my, I'm sorry you guys, my bangs are all over the place. Like I need to just put them somewhere and forget about them, because I think I'm the only one that notices. But okay, that's it. I'm not gonna touch them. One more time, there we go. Okay. So the yarn store did recommend a couple of yarns to use for the project, and my friend and I actually picked the same exact color and yarn. We're both using Brooklyn Tweed Loft in the undyed colorway Puff, and then the stripe is in the colorway Old World. It's really pretty. I'm making really good progress on this. I started it back in, I believe, October or November. I have completely finished the back panel. This cardigan is knit in pieces, flat, and then seamed. So I've finished the back panel. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. I think it's just so pretty. I love the texture of the Brooklyn Tweed shelter. It's a it's a woolen spun 2-ply non-superwash yarn, and it's light as a feather, super airy, and makes this really soft, squishy fabric. And then the color, the undyed color, really lets you see the cables and the texture so beautifully. And it does happen to be the same color that Taylor Swift's original Folklore cardigan is. She has like a white, off-white and navy blue. And then this Old World, if you can, the camera is not going to do it justice, but there are the camera is, however, going to pick up all the dog hairs that's on this project. So thank you. You can't see all the flecks of color, but there's flecks of red and like electric blue in this that make it just a little bit more interesting than a flat navy. It's really pretty. So that is the back panel. I finished a front panel. This is the left front. I finished this, but it is wrong. I started the right front. That's what I'm currently on, the right front right now. And I've been decreasing, it's a V-neck, so I've been decreasing for the V-neck, and I got to the instruction where you're supposed to decrease for shape the underarm, and you have to knit 15 inches from here to the start of the underarm, which is here. And I realized on the left front piece that I made, I think I knit like way more than 15 inches before I started shaping the underarm. So I think I have to rip this back down to where I need to actually start the underarm, which is not like that much knitting, but still kind of sad. Because the neck shaping and underarm shaping, you have to do it at the same time for a significant portion of the front panels. And it's not hard per se, but you just have to be paying attention. So it's one of those projects that it's probably not a great idea to be like sitting, watching something and paying more attention to what you're watching than what you're knitting, which is probably why I messed up because I was probably watching Netflix. So that's kind of annoying, especially because the sad story of the back panel is that my friend and I made the same exact mistake on the back panel. The way that the designer, I feel like it's okay if I share more of the instructions because it's a free pattern. You can, go find it right now, Lion Brand. The designer says when you start shaping for your underarm, you start shaping a certain amount of inches from she calls it beg, so beginning, that's short for beginning. When I am knitting a sweater, I'm used to knitting, or I'm used to measuring from the beginning of my work, like here. So I measured just from the start of my work, but what she meant was the beginning of the textured section. So excluding all of the ribbing. So essentially what happened was, since I was measuring from the beginning of the ribbing here, I started my underarm decrease about 2.5 inches too early. And it just wasn't going to look right, like proportionally, because you can see that the sleeve is very, I'm not doing a good job. The sleeve is going to be, pretty slouchy. The underarm is going to be slouchy. It was going to be big. And then, this is not an ad for the litter robot. I'm not sponsored, but that sound in the background is the litter robot that I have that's cycling right now. So sorry about that. Incredible, by the way, if you have a cat and you have the means to get one. It has changed our life. It's the most amazing thing I've ever bought, and I love it so much. The end. I guess I'll just... Okay, hi, I'm back, and the litter box has finished its cycle, so we can move on. I think that's really all I have to say about that project. I'm enjoying knitting it, but I've been a little frustrated, and mostly it's my fault. I think I just need to read the instructions more closely. I've never attempted such a, I guess it's complex. I think it's just because it's all over textured and cables. I've never knit cables before other than my, like a little bit of a raglan detail. So it's all new for me. I'm really impressed by how pretty it looks, and I think I'm gonna wear it a lot as like a thick kind of coat here in Florida. I don't think I'll be able to wear it for much of the year, but I do think because it's oversized in a really nice basic color, I'm gonna get some wear out of it. I want the object. And I am enjoying the knitting to some degree, especially because it's pretty fast. It's on pretty big needles. I think it's on a size. Oh, hi, Gunther. Gunther is my German Shepherd, and he probably sees a cat outside, and he's warning us. So thank you. It's knit on size 9 with worsted weight yarn. So the gauge is pretty thick, wide, loose. The gauge is pretty loose, and it's knitting up relatively quickly, so that's satisfying. Every time you sit down, like, you knit a couple inches, but you just kind of have to be more vigilant than I typically enjoy being when I'm knitting. So I've actually put it down several times. I kind of in timeout. Especially when I realize I've made a mistake and I have to pull back. I have to put it in timeout for at least a couple of days because it's so frustrating. But it'll get finished. I am determined to finish it. I will not finish it by the time that this knit along is over, but that's okay. It was fun to be part of the group, and really sweet and accommodating of them to let us be virtual members of the knit along. So all in all, a really great experience, and they're an awesome store. If you're ever in Atlanta, the Craftivist is a really, really nice yarn store. And they also did they have, oh, I'm not gonna, no, that was in Denver. There's a store called Fancy Tiger in Denver that has really cool fabric as well as knitting stuff. But anyway, Craftivist, I would love to go back. I probably will next Dragon Con. So let's move on. My next project is the Barnsley sweater. This is a fingering weight top-down raglan sweater. It is all over texture. It is like slipped stitches alternating with just rows of knitting to make this really pretty waffle texture. And I am knitting it up in Brooklyn Tweed Loft for the body in the color Postcard. If you can see, it's just a really nice, it comes across as gray, I think, but there's like a purplish hint to it, and there are these flecks of red that are really pretty. And then I chose to do a contrasting collar, and I'm using Mondim. I might pull the collar out for a couple of reasons. I think it's a little bit tight. Okay, this is the front. I think it's gonna be really tight on my neck, and I don't want that. I think that's gonna be too hot in a 100% wool sweater, especially here in Florida. Like, I'm never gonna be able to wear this, number one. Number two, the Mondim is nice yarn. It is not soft, and I'm a little bit sensitive to wool, and my neck especially is like a sensitive area, and I can already feel it prickling, and I think that's gonna really bother me. So as much as I love this green, I love you too. Yes, you're very good. Gunther is jonesing for a walk. So I need to speed this up. I love you. Yes, I know. Okay, okay. I will be back. I'm gonna ply him with a treat so that he can, hold his horses just a little longer. So, okay, back. had to give them some chew treats to stave off the walk. We're going right after this, I promise. Okay, back to the Barnsley sweater. I am going to, I think, pull the collar out, even though I like this green, and I think I'm gonna get either, I think I might get just a merino yarn that's, I know, really soft and I can wear against my neck, or I'll get a different color of Loft, because the Loft is relatively soft. It's not as soft as merino, but it's softer than the Mondim. So I think I'm gonna end up doing that, switching that out. I don't think I've never done it before, but I can't imagine it will be too hard. This is a folded over collar. You just knit it to itself, and it does look, I think, very nice and polished. And so, you know, I think overall the sweater is coming along nicely. I knit a couple of inches on the body this week. It is slow going. It is very slow going. It is a labor of love because I really do want the finished object, just a cool, neutral but textured pullover sweater. I think I'm gonna get a lot of wear out of this, and I think it's gonna be really just comfy and warm and kind of a long-lasting piece in this yarn. I love the Brooklyn Tweed Loft, but it is, you know, the body is taking a really long time, y'all, because you have 2 rows where you're doing a slip and a knit and then a slip and a purl. I guess it's like if you're doing mosaic color work knitting, it's similar to that, and it just is taking a long time. I like it, I do. I just want to be done with it, but I'm like, ugh, I don't know. No, it's good. It's good. I can't knit on it anymore right now because I'm actually waiting for more of the yarn to come in the mail. I bought a couple of skeins of this Brooklyn Tweed Loft postcard from a store in Denver when I was actually there for a conference. I went to this really, really cute and cool yarn store called Fancy Tiger Crafts, and they have an amazing yarn selection and then really, really, really cool fabrics and sewing patterns too. It made me want to learn how to sew when I was there, but I do not have room in my house. There's no way. I live in like a very small house. It's less than 1,000 square feet. So I have to limit myself at some point. I already shoved a pottery wheel in here and like a like exercise bike, all this stuff. Like I can't. I want to, but I can't. I probably will, but you know, whatever. I am probably, you know, as soon as the yarn comes in, I'm going to keep knitting on it. I put this down for a little while because it was just being like tedious and I was over it for a while. And I just felt kind of meh about the collar too. It was like making me feel like, do you guys ever feel like there's one little thing about a project that you're not sure about, like, and all of a sudden you're just like, that's it, I can't finish it. It's like you don't say that, but that's like the subconscious decision of your brain. It's like, nope, that's it. And then it just languishes forever in a drawer, like 60% finished, and you never finish it. That's not gonna happen here. I'm finishing it. I am finishing it. I ordered the yarn. I'm finishing it. But when I do my next video, I think is gonna be frog or not to frog. That's gonna be the sad tale of many of those projects, unfortunately, is I'm definitely a perfectionist, and you know, for better or for worse, right? And I have let a lot of projects languish because my brain has decided for whatever reason that like some little part of it isn't quite right, and then I'm like, instead of like addressing the problem and fixing it or just accepting that it's a handmade thing. I'm sorry, I'm like trying to find my next thing while I'm babbling to you guys, and it's tangly in here. Instead of, you know, fixing the problem, I just like put it away and like never look at it again. So, but this video, the frog video, frog or not to frog, I'm gonna have to come, you know, face my demons. I'm gonna have to, you know, like be like, okay, like, what am I gonna do here? Oh, good. Okay, it's worse. Awesome. sorry, this is this next project that I am working on is the big, I think it's Big Cozy Cardi by Drea Renee Knits, Andrea Mowry. Sorry, it's giant right now, and it's also part of the way off the needles because I stole the needles that I was using for another project, and that made it very delicate, and I didn't put any ends, like stoppers on it, and so a lot of it is off of the needles right now and precarious. Cool. So what I have so far is a tangled mess. So what I have so far is a big square, big rectangle that I've knit. It's really hard to even get it in the frame because it's so big, as the name implies. This is a giant slouchy cardigan that's textured. The texture that Andrea Mowry has on hers is different than mine. I messed up the pattern and I just went with it, so now I have these like parallel lines that are making it textured, but whatever, you get the idea, and I think it's still really cool. I'm very excited to get the finished object. The process has been a little bit tedious just because you have to knit like a humongous rectangle. But to be honest with you, like once I get to the next step where I have to knit on a big collar, I think it's going to be a really nice, just turn off your brain and watch TV knit. The issue is that I'm at a critical junction where I need to bind off and block it and then like make the little just suggestion of sleeves basically, and I haven't had I just haven't had the inspiration to do it, but I need to, because I really do want to get to the next stage. And now it's going to be even harder for my little brain, my weird little brain, to pick up the stitches and get moving again because it's come off of the needles. I can do this though. I can. Like, I'm not giving up on you. I love you. It's knit in such special yarn too. My neighbor actually dyed this yarn. She has a yarn company called Willowtree yarns that they sell at my local yarn store here in Pensacola. And when I was looking for a sport weight yarn to knit up this cardigan in, I really wanted to use her yarn. She has a base that's 50% merino, 50% silk, and it is luscious. It is so shiny and squishy and soft and just luxurious. She didn't have a color that in stock that I really wanted to use, but she is very cool and asked me what colors I wanted to knit the cardigan in, and she custom made this beautiful color for me. And she called it Mossy Magic, which is perfect. It does look like that bright green moss that you get on trees. See that? Just there's some browns in it and just these bright, beautiful tones. I think it's just lovely, and it's gonna be the collar. So this is gonna be the main cardigan body, and then this is gonna be a big, loose, like collar, and I am obsessed. This color for the body, she made this first for me, and then I was looking for a color to knit the body in, and again just couldn't quite find what exactly I wanted, and she was like, why don't you just come over to my house? Incidentally, she lives 3 houses away from me, and she was like, we'll dye it together and you can do the exact color that you want. So that was really fun. We were in her kitchen and I got to pick out the colors, and she showed me how she dyes the yarn, and it was a really fun experience. And we got the exact beautiful color that I want. It's just kind of this mucky green gray. It's just perfect. I can't wait to have this cardigan. I'm gonna wear it like a little blankie. I'm gonna wrap myself up in it. It's gonna be so warm and drapey and lovely and luscious and soft. I imagine myself wearing it on a plane and just like, ooh, just being so cozy, like in a little blankie, but also it's like this mossy, like witchy, just, yes, I'm very excited. You guys, it's going to be amazing. So I need to start working on it again. I will. And maybe next time I'll have more progress to show y'all. I've got 2 more little things, and they are actually, believe it or not, they're accessories. The first is some mittens. These are the Halibut mittens by Caitlin Hunter. She also has a halibut hat and a halibut sweater. So I started the first mitt and got quite a lot of progress done. That's the thumb. And then I realized that it was gonna be really small. Not like too small. I have pretty small hands, but it was just gonna be snug. Totally my fault. I should have done a gauge swatch. I was using the suggested needles. I think it's because I'm using Woolstok Light by BlueSky Fibers. It's a single ply, non-superwash, 100% wool yarn. And I think it's just a light fingering. I think it's very delicate, very thin and light. And I think she might have been using a thicker fingering weight yarn than I was, because my gauge is not particularly tight, but I decided, I just decided it was going to be too small. Like I just wasn't going to wear them. So I took the needles out of these. I haven't had the heart to like pull the fish out yet, because I just think he's so pretty. And while I'm knitting the other one, I kind of want to like still have it. I'm like, do you guys ever knit like something like color work, or like you put in a lot of time and you realize you have to frog it and it's just like, I can't, but I can't, like, it's my baby. I'm gonna leave you there. I know, I'm sorry. So I didn't give up. I cast on another one, and I actually made a mistake on this one. I didn't do the pink on the bottom as the first row, so I did correct that with this one. And as you can see, you know, pretty far, done a whole cuff. So I went up a needle size. I went up a half a needle size for this cuff, and I'm gonna go up a whole needle size for the what is it, the body, I guess the main portion. And I think that will get me where I need to be. I think they're gonna be really, really cute. I love the pattern. I'll put the colorways I'm using in the description box. I just love this purple, this dark purple, like pretty purpley red with this baby ballerina pink. I think it's really cute. So, and I love Woolstok. I love BlueSky Fibers. I think they're pretty reasonably priced, and their colorways are so gorgeous. So I think they're going to be really warm, comfy mitts. I love the way that the non-superwash makes this like just very like uniform fabric, really, really pretty, really crisp and nice stitch definition. So I think they're going to be really gorgeous when I finish them in the actual proper size. Yeah, like could I have avoided this by doing a gauge swatch? I could have, but I didn't. And oh, what do you know? The litter box is going again. So we'll take another quick little break, and I will be back when it's done. And we're back. All right, this is my last project that I'm working on. As I said, it's another accessory, and it is, I need to show you the bag. This is in a project bag that my friend Jordan made for me. Look at this. Incredible. It has little possums on it, and then the inside, it's a little D&D. It's got these swords and all the different dice and little poison bottles and coins, and it's incredible. She made this for me to be a dice bag. She and her husband play a lot of D&D, and I did my first game with them. in last month, and it was really, 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 really fun. So she's an incredibly talented sewist and put together this bag for me. So while it's not holding dice at the moment, it is a perfect size for a little hat or gloves, or in this case, a single skein fingering weight shawl project. So I'm using it as a project bag, but just like, again, like those little possums, like the apple cores, like that, this little guy is so mad. Like, what's he mad about? What are you mad about? What are you doing? Incredible. I'm obsessed. I have a tattoo of a possum on my arm, and like so many of my friends like give me possum related items as gifts, and I'm so here for it. Like, it's been one of the best things about getting this possum tattoo is, first of all, like meeting all of these, like, I had no idea how many people loved opossums until I got the tattoo, and like I will just like, people will stop me and they'll be like, oh my gosh, like, is that a possum? I work for wildlife rescue and I rehab them. I love them. I've met so many, like, there are a lot of us out here, you guys. Surprisingly, did not know that. And as there should be. Possums are incredible. They're so cute and cool. I got it as a little ode to where I grew up, which is here in Northwest Florida. And they were all over the place. And one mama possum actually decided to move her family behind my dad's fish freezer in our garage when I was a kid. And he had to coerce all of them into a cat carrier and actually just release them in the woods near our home. They were fine, like nothing, they were healthy. He just released them in the woods near our house, so that, probably shouldn't have wild animals living in our garage. But that is actually currently the most Florida story that I have when I need to, tell somebody that I grew up here in the swamp. And that is also incidentally why I'm Swamp Witch Knits, if you didn't kind of put that together with me being here in Florida. But I do live in Northwest Florida, and it's not the swampiest place in Florida. It's not like, I feel like there are swampier places in Central Florida, but we have some swamp areas. We still have gators up here. It's colder. We don't have as many as like Gainesville does, but we've got gators and snakes and all kinds of, and lizards. I have thousands of lizards that live in my yard. And when it's warmer and they come back out, I'll get some footage of them, you guys, because I'm obsessed. They're like my little buddies. All right, let's get off our tangent and talk about our last project. So this is a little palette cleanser project, and it is a gift for my friend and coworker. This is the Paris and Berlin. I guess, I don't know if you'd call it, would you call it a cowl or like a infinity scarf? It's kind of a bandana shape. It's got a like cute triangle shape, and it's really like slouchy and loose around your neck. So this is just the start of it. I think it's gonna go like this. So I'm starting here, and then you join it in the round after a certain amount of rounds, and then finally like finish with a really cute texture in the front. I've knit one of these before. I really enjoyed it, and it fits really nicely. It's really cute. She wears shawls and scarves all the time this time of year, and I have given her a scarf before, and she wears it pretty frequently and has said that she likes it. So I really wanted to make her something. Her birthday is coming up, so it's been really a joy to knit with this, and I'm very excited to finish it. And it's been, after knitting on all of the sweaters and things and having a few disappointments with my own mistakes, like not doing a gauge swatch on the mittens and not paying enough attention on my Folklore cardigan, I just needed a break. I needed something that was simple, kind of mindless, but fun and pretty, and this fit the bill perfectly. So I've been really enjoying doing this. It's been very relaxing. I've been looking forward to kind of sitting down and knitting with it. And I'm using actually more Willowtree yarn dyed by my neighbor. So this is gorgeous yarn. This colorway I am obsessed with. She called it the Tunnel of Trees. We have a street here in Pensacola. We have native trees here. They're called live oaks, and they're just really beautiful trees. I love live oaks. I guess they might be well, aspens are also up there. So between aspen trees and live oak trees, top 5 favorite trees. I've never thought about compiling a list, but maybe I should. Like, maybe we should all have our list of favorite trees, you know? But live oaks, probably it's a nostalgia thing too, because they're all over the place here. Just a really important tree to this area. And the way that they grow, they have these really long boughs, and they can form tunnels over the roadways if you have big ones planted beside the road. So there's the 12th Avenue here in Pensacola has this beautiful stretch where there are these glorious giant old oak trees, and they form a literal tunnel that you're driving through. And she based this off of that, and I just think she nailed it. The bright in here reminds me of like the sunlight coming through. If it's a bright sunny day, the sun peeking through the leaves at you, and then you've got like the darker areas where the leaves are summating, and you've got branches. And as I'm just knitting it, you know, the variegation of the yarn is so interesting and beautiful. It's very, very lovely to knit with, and excuse me, reminds me of a street that I've always loved, and it's just been quite a joy. And I think that she will really appreciate it. She loves our beautiful natural area too, and I think that she's going to appreciate that this yarn came from a local artist. It's hand dyed, and it was handmade for her. And she's a very knit-worthy person. She, you know, is very appreciative and kind, and I'm very, very excited to finish this up. I'm gonna have to knit it furiously because her birthday is coming up this week, but I think I can do it. So yeah, that's what I've got going on right now, you guys. I'm gonna have to call it a day. First of all, my phone is dying that I'm filming this on. Second of all, I think the dogs are almost done with those chews and they are gonna start crying again. But it was such a joy to sit down with you guys and chat about my knitting. I can't wait to catch up with you next time. Again, I think it's gonna be, the next time it's gonna be a reckoning of, I'm gonna have to sit down with all of the projects that I have let sit and languish in their boxes and bags and drawers. I'm gonna have to dig them all out. They're gonna see the sunlight, and I'm gonna have to decide what to do with them, because this is my hobby and I don't have to have any rules. So I'm not sure like where I was going with that, but I would like to, I think some of the things I want, like I started knitting them for a reason, like I want the thing. So I will decide, you know, in our next episode, Emily decides if Emily makes the big choice. So, you know, get excited. We're leaving it on a cliffhanger, you guys. Thank you so much for watching and bearing with my distracted babble, all of the pets. I so appreciate you stopping by and listening, you know, chatting with me about my knitting. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe, feed the YouTube algorithm. On social media, you can find me as Swamp Witch Summer on Instagram, and on Ravelry, you can find me as Swamp Witch Knits. Again, thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.